So next video on kit reviews, you might have guessed it already, is this head torch. And this head torch is called the Petzl Nao Plus. I've had loads of head torches in the past. They've been great for lighting, but I found them quite bulky, quite heavy, especially where the battery pack is, and they end up bouncing around the head or just digging into the head a little bit too much and making it a bit uncomfortable. So I decided to purchase on a bit more expensive head torch, but I'm glad I did. It's a great investment, and this is super light, not heavy at all, not even where the battery is. And it's all done by a bungee cord, which I find when it fits on your head, if you can shape it and change it any way you want to, and also by just tightening this cord you can shape and tighten it up on the head if you need to. Torch has 3 settings on it, so it has 2 settings first to change the intensity of light, and then they've got a 3rd set on here which is something called reactive lighting. I don't know if you can see that, lighting technology. And what that is basically, if you turn it on to the 3rd setting, if I was to look at a closer object, or if I was at a checkpoint and I look at someone, we've all been there before when someone's left their head torch on and it ends up blinding you. This head torch, when it recognises and someone is there, or it recognises another object really close, this will adjust its light intensity depending on where that object is, which I think is really, really good. It's also great for things like when you're on the trails and you have to scramble over some rocks, for example. That torch will actually just reduce the intensity a little bit, so it's not blind and you're getting reflections off things off the rocks in front of you, which I think is great. Like I said, really super lightweight, really easy to change the batteries. I buy a couple of these just in case, but these batteries will last about 6 to 8 hours on a trail, so most events all night, but some of those winter ones, maybe that second one's there, and it's always good to have a little extra spare anyway. But on the battery itself, it has 3 LED markers like you would do on a normal charging unit, just to give you a bit of indication of how much battery's left. Obviously when this is on your head you're not going to be able to see that, but what this does, you can Bluetooth this to an app on your phone and you can get to see the percentage of how much battery's left. You can adjust the lighting by your phone, you can turn off this head torch by your phone. You pretty much have full access to this all by a touch of your phone, which I think is brilliant. Pretty much that's it you can talk about. I mean, I've had this for a couple of years now and there is no damage to it. I mean, some of the wording's worn off a little bit, but this has been banged around, stuffed in bags and all sorts, so this has done really well for me. Another thing I would say is when you're shining the torch, sometimes like a cheaper head torch might create like a circle on the floor when you're running at night, and I find sometimes that shortens your vision a little bit to one spot. What you want is a head torch really that has a real good decent spread, like a bike light, for example, so you can just see wider, a bit more of the trail, and this one has that, so it's a bit more of a spread rather than just that one circular dot. And I just find I get on with that type of lighting a lot better than that, those ones anyway. But yeah, fantastic head torch, Petzl Nao Plus, massive plus for me.